Hello students, let us start with the topic quadratic equations. Now let us understand students what are quadratic equation. Let us take examples of few equations. Now before we take examples of any equation, let me first make you understand what is equation students. Any mathematical expression. For example, if we take an expression 3x square plus 5x. Can we say, is it an equation? No. If I put an equal to sign, okay, now can we say, is it an equation? Still no. Why? Because we do have a left hand side, but we don't have anything on the right hand side. If I write a number here, now can we say, is it an equation? Yes. So equation means any mathematical statement which is expressed in the form of, with the help of equal to sign, and along with that equal to sign we have the LHS and the RHS. We have something in the left hand side, something in the right hand side, integers getting multiplied, divided, constant. So all this thing together, very important, is the equal to sign, is called as equation. Now let us take examples of few equation and let us study which equation we can call it as the quadratic equation. So first equation here we will take is 5x plus y equal to 6. Second equation 3x, randomly I'm taking examples of any equation. 3x plus 4 equal to 0. X square plus 4 equal to 5. Then x square plus 5xy is equal to 6. Then x square plus 2x plus 5 equal to 0. Okay. Now students, you are going to tell me that in this example, we are having how many variables and what are the degree. So we are going to identify from this examples the variables and the degree. Degree means the highest index, right? Now let us start. In the first equation, how many variables are there? So we have two variables, x and y. What is the degree? What is the highest index? The highest index is 1. Second equation, how many variables do we have? We have only one variable, that is x. What is the degree here? The degree is again 1. Next equation, x squared plus 4 equal to 5. How many variables we have? 1. What is the degree here? Highest index 2. X squared plus 5xy equal to 6. What is the variable? How many variables we have? We have two variables, x and y. And what is the degree here? The degree highest index, x squared, the index is 2, the power is 2, and xy. X is having index as 1, y is having index as 1, together it is 2. So the highest index is 2. Next one, last equation. How many variables we have? We have one variable. And what is the highest index? The highest index is 2. So students, out of this example, we are going to concentrate on that example which we can determine as a quadratic equation. So what is quadratic equation, students? Any equation having degree as 2. Any equation having degree as 2 and one variable is called as the quadratic equation. Any equation having degree 2 and one variable is called as the quadratic equation. So what is a quadratic equation, students? Any equation where two conditions should be satisfied. What are the two conditions? We should have only one variable. The equation should have how many variables? So the equation should have only one variable. And what should be the degree of that equation? The degree of equation is 2. If these two conditions are satisfied, we can say that The equation is a quadratic equation. Okay, now let's move ahead. We are solving the 10th standard state board chapter number 2, students. Now in this chapter, what we are going to study? We are going to study solving quadratic equation. What are the methods of solving quadratic equations? Now, how many methods we will be studying in this chapter? Solving quadratic equations. So the very first method that we are going to study is the factorization method. Now this factorization method, students, it is not new to you. You have studied it somewhere in 8th standard also, ninth standard also, in algebra chapter number 3. It was factorized in the last exercise, if you remember. So the same thing we are going to do here. The only difference, it was not an equation. Here it is an equation. There we left the sum as bracket into bracket. But here we are going to solve the value of for x we will solve the value of the variable. So the very first method is the factorization method, where we are going to split the middle term. The second method we will be solving in this chapter, students, is completing square method. Now this is something new that we have not studied in the previous standard. Completing square method. Completing square method. It's a very interesting method. We will study it in the next video. The third one is the formula method. This is the formula method. Formula method is also called as the Sridhar-Acharya formula method. Sometimes the sum may come like this: solve the following quadratic equation by Sridhar-Acharya formula method. So keep that thing in mind. And the fourth thing we are going to study in this chapter is the discriminant and nature of roots. Okay, what is discriminant and what are the nature of roots? And if you will go through my videos, students, you can find that I have already uploaded the video of nature of roots. How to identify, how to determine the nature of roots. That video I have already uploaded. You can search, you will get it. Discriminant nature of roots. The next thing we are going to study in this chapter is sums based on alpha and beta. Alpha and beta. These are the two roots of the quadratic equation which we assume. Now the next thing, the last thing are the word problems, students. Word problems. So these are the thing which we are going to study in this chapter, quadratic equation. We'll start with the factorization method. What is factorization method? How to solve the quadratic equation by factorization method. Let us take the textual sum, students. Let us take the textual sums. Your Maharashtra State Board 10th standard chapter number 2. Let us take the textual sums. So here we are taking exercise 2.2. Exercise 2.2 question number 1. Exercise 2.2 question number 1. Question number 1. Solve the following quadratic equation by factorization method. We are solving the first sum: x square minus 15x plus 54 is equal to 0. X square minus 15x plus 54 equal to 0. Now how to solve this sum? So students, here I give you a shortcut method to solve this sum. So whenever we solve any equation, whenever we have to split any factors of any quadratic equation, in the rough work, students, we will write the term for P and S. We'll write the term P and S. Now, what is this P and S? Now students, P stands for, this is the first sum. Since I'm explaining in detail, there's no need to write all these things in every sum. P stands for product and S stands for sum. So P is what? P is the coefficient of the first term into constant. So what is P, students? P is first term's coefficient. Coefficient of the first term into constant. And what is S? S is the coefficient of the middle term. S is the coefficient of the middle term. So what we have to do is, in every sum, whenever we start factorizing such type of sum, we need to write P and S. So when we look at this sum, we'll write P, and P is coefficient of first term. Now what is the coefficient of first term here, students? Nothing. Nothing means we always consider 1. And what is the constant? What is the constant here? Constant is 54. We'll multiply 1 into 54. What is 1 into 54? We get 54. And then we will write S. We will write S. That is the coefficient of the middle term. So coefficient of the middle term, students, here is minus 15. We need to consider the minus sign also. Okay. Now we will find two such factors, two numbers, multiplying which we will get 54 and adding which we will get minus 15. Now many students, they don't know how to find the factors. They always tell me, ma'am, we don't get the factors fast. So students, here we have to start. See, when it is a smaller number, we can start by the table of 2. We can just observe that whether 54 is divisible by the table of 2, 3, 4, and so on. When it is a bigger number, we can factorize that number and get the factors. So here it is a smaller number. For the bigger number, I will take such one sum and I will explain you. Now 54, students, we have to start thinking from 2 table of 2. So 54, is it divisible by the table of 2? Yes. So 2 into what is 54? So it is 2 into 27, we get 54. But 2 minus 27, do we get 15? No. Let's move ahead. 3. Is 54 divisible by 3? Yes. 3 into what is 54? So 3 into 18 is 54. We'll subtract and check whether we get 15. Yes, 18 minus 3 is 15. So what we will do is, we'll write in the rough column here, 318, 318. Now we have to put a minus sign. Why? See here, when we cross verify, 3 into 18, we do get 54. But 3 plus 18, we don't get minus 15. So here, we need to put minus sign to either both the number or one number. So if you think by logic, you will get the answer. If you can't use logic, here it's a table, students, which will help you to give the signs properly. So this is P and S. Okay. And whatever two numbers we find, students, normally one number is a bigger number and second is a smaller number. Very rare it happens both the number is exactly same. So in this question, student, P is having positive sign. So P is positive and S is having negative. So whenever P is positive and S is negative, minus sign, P is positive, okay, and S is negative. So minus sign, students, will always go to both the numbers, both the numbers. And when P is negative, S is negative, minus sign will go only to the bigger number. When P is negative and S is positive, minus sign will go to smaller number. So when we follow this table in our sum, P positive, S negative, so we have to give minus sign to both the numbers. And then students, we have to verify whether we are getting this P and S. So minus 3 into minus 18 gives us plus 54. But minus 3 minus 18, does it gives it minus 15? No. That means our factors are wrong, student. So this table will also help you to get the factors perfectly right. Sometimes it happens now, okay, for one particular sum, there are more than, actually there are not more than one factors. You may think that there are more than one factors, and you get to know that your factors are wrong when you get the paper on your when your exam is over, when your paper has been assigned, checked, when you get the marks, at that time when you look at your sum, you come to know that it is wrong. Okay, so to be on the safer side, to get to know it during the exam itself that our factors are wrong, this table will help you a lot. So that means our minus 33 and minus 18 factors are wrong. So what to do? We will move ahead. We will go to next table. Our 2 table is over, 3 table is over. We'll go for the next table, 4 table. Now, is 54 divisible by 4? Think. 54 divisible by 4? No. Then table of 5? No. Then table of 6? 6 into 9 is 54. Yes. Then 6 plus 9 is 15. Yes. When we give minus sign to both the numbers, minus 6 and minus 9 give us plus 54. Yes. Minus 6 minus 9 give us minus 15. Yes. So that means we got our factors, students. Our factors are 6 and 9. P positive, S negative. That means minus sign goes to both the numbers. Minus 6 minus 9 is minus 15. So that means our factors are minus 6 and minus 9. Copy down this table, students. It will help you. Okay. Now let us solve the sum. So we got the factors as minus 6 and minus 9. How to solve it further? The same way as we did in 9th standard in factorization of quadratic polynomial. The same way we need to solve, students. So here we are starting the sum. Therefore, x square. We are going to split the middle term. That means in the place of middle term, these factors we will write along with the same variable x. Minus 6x minus 9x plus 54 equal to 0. Underline two terms and get the common factor out. What is common? X. What remains inside? X minus 6. Now here again a small technique. Which sign is there in between? Minus. Leave one space to write one integer and copy the same bracket, students. X minus 6 equal to 0. And then compare this third term and check from this 9x, which term we have put inside the bracket. So x is inside. From 9x, x is inside. So what will remain outside, students? 9 will remain outside. If you want to verify, open the bracket and verify whether you get these terms. Now next step, common bracket. Common bracket x minus 6. Next bracket x minus 9 equal to 0. We got bracket into bracket equal to 0. Then we will write either first bracket is 0 or second bracket is 0. Why we write this? Because we get something into something as 0. Whenever two numbers are getting multiplied and the answer is 0, then out of that two number, one number should be definitely 0. Otherwise, we will never get 0. So we are assuming either the first term is 0 or the second term is 0. Therefore, x equal to minus 6 will move towards the right hand side. It will become plus 6. And here x is equal to minus 9 will move toward the right hand side. It will become plus 9. Therefore, students, our final answer, x is equal to 6 and x is equal to 9. X is equal to 6 or x is equal to 9 is our final answer. Hope you have understood, student. In the next video, I will explain you about the bigger factor. If we get bigger factor, how to factorize. And we will be solving all these methods, completing square method, formula method. Discriminant is already uploaded, alpha, beta, and the word problems. Till then, keep working hard. Happy learning, students. Bye. Thank you.